Welcome to Bite at a Time Books Behind the Story, where we answer the questions you have about your favorite classic authors. What inspired your favorite author to write their novels? What was going on in the world at the time? Follow along with us as we tell you what was happening in the world while your favorite authors wrote your favorite classics. My name is Bree Carlile, and I love to read, and wanted to share my passion with listeners like you. If you enjoy our show, be sure to follow our show so you get all the new episodes. You can catch us on all the social medias at Bite at a Time Books, or on our website, biteatatimebooksbehindthestory.com. If you would also like to hear a story by the author we're currently featuring, check out the Bite at a Time Books podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Today we'll be talking about the personal life of Victor Hugo. Family. Marriage. Hugo married Adèle Fauchet in October 1822. Despite their respective affairs, they lived together for nearly 46 years, until she died in August 1868. Hugo, who was still banished from France, was unable to attend her funeral in Villequier, where their daughter, Léopoldine, was buried. From 1830 to 1837, Adèle had an affair with Charles-Augustin Sainte-Beuve, a reviewer and writer. Children. Adèle and Victor Hugo had their first child, Leopold, in 1823, but the boy died in infancy. On 28 August 1824, the couple's second child, Léopoldine, was born, followed by Charles on 4 November 1826, François Victor on 28 October 1828, and Adèle on 28 July 1830. Hugo's eldest and favorite daughter, Léopoldine, died in 1843 at the age of 19, shortly after her marriage to Charles Vacchieri. On 4 September, she drowned in the Seine at Villequier, when the boat she was in overturned. Her young husband died trying to save her. The death left her father devastated. Hugo was traveling at the time in the south of France when he first learned about Léopoldine's death from a newspaper that he read in a café. He wrote many poems afterward about his daughter's life and death. His most famous poem is Demain de l'Aube, Tomorrow at Dawn, in which he describes visiting her grave. Exile. Hugo decided to live in exile after Napoleon III's coup d'état at the end of 1851. After leaving France, Hugo lived in Brussels briefly in 1851, and then moved to Channel Islands, first to Jersey, 1852 to 1855, and then to the smaller island of Guernsey in 1855, where he stayed until Napoleon III's fall from power in 1870. Although Napoleon III proclaimed a general amnesty in 1859, under which Hugo could have safely returned to France, the author stayed in exile, only returning when Napoleon III was removed from power by the creation of the French Third Republic in 1870, as a result of the French defeat at the Battle of Sedan in the Franco-Prussian War. After the Siege of Paris from 1870 to 1871, Hugo lived again in Guernsey from 1872 to 1873, and then finally returned to France for the remainder of his life. In 1871, after the death of his son Charles, Hugo took custody of his grandchildren Jean and George Victor. Other relationships. Juliette Drouet. From February 1833 until her death in 1883, Juliette Drouet devoted her whole life to Victor Hugo, who never married her even after his wife died in 1868. He took her on his numerous trips, and she followed him in exile on Guernsey. There, Hugo rented a house for her near Hauteville House, his family home. She wrote some 20,000 letters, in which she expressed her passion or vented her jealousy on her womanizing lover. On 25 September 1870, during the Siege of Paris, 19 September 1870 to 28 January 1871, Hugo feared the worst. He left his children a note reading as follows: J.D. She saved my life in December 1851. For me, she underwent exile. Never has her soul forsaken mine. Let those who have loved me love her. Let those who have loved me respect her. She is my widow. V.H. Léonie d'Annette. For more than 7 years, Léonie d'Annette, who was a married woman, was involved in a love relationship with Hugo. Both were caught in adultery on 5 July 1845. Hugo, who had been a member of the Chamber of Peers since April, avoided condemnation, whereas his mistress had to spend 2 months in prison and 6 in a convent. Many years after their separation, Hugo made a point of supporting her financially. Others. Hugo gave free rein to his libido until a few weeks before his death. He sought a wide variety of women of all ages, be they courtesans, actresses, prostitutes, admirers, servants, or revolutionaries like Louise Michel for sexual activity. He systematically reported his casual affairs using his own code, as Samuel Pepys did, to make sure they would remain secret. For instance, he resorted to Latin abbreviations, or to Spanish. Homophones are frequent. Signs, breasts, becomes saint. Pole, stove, actually refers to poise, pubic hair. Analogy also enabled him to conceal the real meaning. A woman's Seuss's, Swiss, are her breasts, because Switzerland is renowned for its milk. After a rendezvous with a young woman named Laetitia, he would write joy, happiness, in his diary. If he added TN, he meant she stripped naked in front of him. The initials SB, discovered in November 1875, may refer to Sarah Bernhardt. Thank you for joining Bite at a Time Books Behind the Story today. Again, my name is Bree Carlile, and I hope you come back next time when we answer more questions about one of your favorite classic authors. If you enjoyed our show, be sure to follow us so you get all the new episodes. We would also love for you to drop us a rating on your favorite podcast platform. You can catch us on all the social medias at Bite at a Time Books, or check out our website, biteatatimebooksbehindthestory.com. Our show is part of the Bite at a Time Books Productions Network. If you would also like to hear a story by the author we are currently featuring, check out the Bite at a Time Books podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, or on biteatatimebooks.com.